Hello everyone, this is Dane. Welcome to my review of episode number 8 of Aim to be a Pokemon Master. This episode is titled, What Banette is Looking For. So, this episode I thought was actually really good, but in a much different way than last week's. And last week's episode was about the Lapras episode, and it was just a really good team-up episode of just Ash knowing what to do at the right times, all of that. It was really, really good, right? This episode was really good, but in a much different way. This one really hits you in the feels. Now, this episode is all about Banette, which we really haven't had a Banette episode. If we have, it's been a long, long time. So it's good to see that Pokemon's putting representation in there for this Pokemon, because I know it's a really popular Pokemon. I personally never really thought of Banette as much, but after this episode, I'm a big fan of it because of the lore behind this Pokemon. So this gave me a lot of Toy Story vibes, this episode did, because there was a point where the Banette was a substitute plush, or just a plush in general, and it was left behind by its owner by pure accident. It wasn't just like, oh, we purposely left this thing behind. No, it was an accident, and then it ends up turning into a Banette at a certain point, and all of that happens from there. So this episode was just really emotional in a lot of ways. We find out at the very end of the episode that the whole Banette is looking for its owner throughout the whole episode. Ash and Crow are trying to help it. Misty had this pendant, or in this hairpin, and turns out that that was actually the plot of the whole episode, right? Nurse Joy ended up being the result of who Banette was looking for the entire time. And I actually really like that plot twist because I didn't see it coming. I mean, I don't know if I just didn't pay attention very well, but I thought it was a pretty nice twist, because usually in episodes like this, I can see stuff like that coming a mile away, or most people can. But I think this episode was written pretty well, and it was kind of just like, if you didn't think about it too much, or if you were just paying attention to what was going on, and you weren't like pausing the episode or whatever, then honestly didn't think you would see it coming. But maybe I'm just not that smart, I don't know. So I thought it was really cool that Brock was the one to actually come up with the resolution here, because Brock had he knows all about Nurse Joy, and he's got an obsession with Nurse Joy, so getting to know what she would look like as a child growing up is kind of weird, I thought. But it's Nurse Joy, and it's kind of playing into that joke of Brock knowing everything about the Joys and the Jennies and all that stuff. So I thought that was actually a good resolution there. I thought it was actually a good thing they did, because it makes sense in a way, because Brock has this obsession with Nurse Joy. So really well done there. Other than that, though, I don't have a whole lot to really say, because it was just a really emotional episode. It actually made me cry at the end almost when the hug happened. Oh my god, that hug between Banette and Nurse Joy was just too much for my soul. There's not a lot of times in Pokemon where it gets me like that. There were some Sun and Moon episodes I remember, and some stuff earlier in the series, but we haven't had that in a long time. The only thing I can really say that I didn't like, and it had nothing to do with the episode itself, it's where it's placed, right? After this, we only have 3 episodes left of Ash Ketchum in this entire universe, essentially, as far as we know. This could be the end of the entire Ash Ketchum universe, because we don't know if the new series is going to have any connections to this. We don't know that. So that's the only thing I have a problem with, is where this episode is placed. This could have been thrown in a random episode of Journeys, and Ash could have met up with Misty and Brock or something, I don't know, at a certain point, and this could have easily been thrown in there. But the fact that this is thrown in 3 episodes before the end is a bit weird. The longer that we go on in this series, I feel like that we're just trying to pad time until the new series. They're trying to get it ready. That's what I feel like is going on here. This has nothing to do with Ash Ketchum becoming a Pokemon Master at this point. Like this one in particular, I felt like was just not like the others. But it was a good episode, though. That's what's weird, is like this was another episode of Pokemon. This is, I don't know. It's really hard to describe. Maybe I'll make a separate video on it in the future, but this is just a weird placement, I feel like, because there could have been so many other things they could have done with showing old Pokemon. You're showing old companions again that we haven't seen in forever. I don't know, having a meetup episode or something, but it was just a random Banette episode. It was just such weird placement. But I did like it. That's the thing. I did like the episode. It was just, I don't like where it's placed. Don't have this 3 episodes before the end. So if people like in the future go back and like, oh, I want to watch Ash's last episodes, and then they go and watch this, I'm like, why is this here? I don't know. But I like the idea. You know, I like the idea of this episode. I thought Misty and Brock were handled pretty well here. They were actually useful. They did stuff because Misty, I mean, anybody could have actually had that hairpin on, but it was, you know, Misty, so she did something, I guess. Yeah, and I also like that Gengar was a big focus in this episode too. Like, it made Gengar feel like a good part of Ash's team because this Banette and Gengar have a very similar backstory. So I thought that was a very nice touch to throw Gengar in there as the main focus. So I enjoyed that a lot, but I don't know. It was just, there was something about it that I was just like, man, I just wish this was placed differently, but we'll have to wait and see what happens after this, because we have 3 more episodes left. So let's hope for the best. So guys, that's going to be it for today's review. This episode's rating gets a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like. It's greatly appreciated. And subscribe for all things Pokemon. Okay guys, I'll talk to you later.